All right, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Mark of Balance. My name is Mark, and today I'm going to be talking about Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 5, The Pirate. It's crazy to think we're more than halfway through Season 3 of Mando already. As you guys know, I think the front half has been a little shaky, not that the episodes were bad, but they've been a little unfocused, and I think that this second half of the season really has to bring it home, and I think this is a great start because I really enjoyed The Pirate as an episode overall. We see the swamp monster / Halo Brute is back to take over Navarro after Mando basically shot down his ships and Greef Karga shot his men on the ground. And his goal is just to destroy the city and pillage, I guess, because he just starts firing at the citizens, which was pretty wild to see. I think the holo projector message that he sends to Greef Karga was a bit shaky with the mouth to word sync, but maybe that was just me, and it's also like it's pirate stuff, so maybe their projectors aren't that good. They were stolen or whatever. But in response, Greef puts this message out to the New Republic that he needs help. Obviously, we've known from the previous episodes that they are not part of the New Republic, so you know there's going to be some political friction there, saying, oh, we can't really provide aid for you because you're not in the New Republic, and that goes all the way back to the Clone Wars with, can we provide aid to non-Republic planets? And what I really like about Carson Teva's character is that he represents the original rebellion, what the original rebellion stood for. As you can see by his facial hair, he's older, he's a veteran, he's lived through the original rebellion against the Empire. He originally joined up to help people. So when he hears a call for help, he doesn't want to go through all of this politicking of having to talk to a big centralized government to get approval to go help people. And I really like that undertone where it doesn't explicitly say that, but you can just tell by the age of the character and what they've established with the New Republic, that the New Republic is a very disorganized and overwhelmed system. I think they've done a great job of showing throughout this season that all of these office centers are overflowing with these data chips that need to be sorted. With Dr. Pershing, we see his desk is overflowing, and they keep bringing him new racks of these data chips, like, oh, we need these sorted. And then we see this officer that Carson goes to, he has all this stuff on his table, he has all of these data chips to go through, and it just emphasizes the point that the New Republic is extremely disorganized and was not ready for power when they seized it after the Empire. This huge power vacuum has been created, and of course that will eventually lead to the First Order. Because in politics, you always swing back and forth. You go from extreme order to extreme disorder with the New Republic, and then there are going to be people within the New Republic that miss that order that the Empire provided, so it'll swing back, and that's what happens in the books. The First Order is born from within the New Republic. It's a bunch of senators that are centralists, they want a centralized government, and they miss what the Empire provided them, and they miss what the Empire brought to disorderly worlds, and that's what's going to happen eventually, and I hope we do explore that. Maybe not in Mandalorian, but in some sort of Star Wars project. So yeah, Carson puts on his Top Gun leather jacket and is going around the galaxy trying to get help for Navarro. He eventually goes to the Mandalorian covert and says, hey, Mando, this is your friend. You need to help him. Again, the R5 story comes back around here, like, oh, well, the only way the pilot could have found him is by using a tracking beacon on a old rebellion astromech, which, okay, that works, but again, how did he know that Mando has R5? Did he just check every R5 unit? Or maybe R5 is communicating with him? I don't know. Does he still have like open lines of communication with his X-droids? I don't know. It's a bit shaky, but again, it works. It comes back around. So then we get this open forum between the Mandalorians and how they make decisions. They make them as a clan. So Din gets up there and makes the case that even though Greef Karga had killed some of their old clan members back when they were on Navarro in Season 1, he's a changed man, he's helped me, he saved the foundling many times, we should help him, and he promised us land so we can live in the sun again, we can raise our children in the fresh air, we don't have to hide anymore, we will have a new home. And then Paz Vizsla comes up and you're like, oh no, this guy, but it seems he's turned a new leaf, and I really like how they do this flip in the speech where you think he's going one way with it, and then he says, no, we're fighting for a future. We should go and help them. And this idea of fighting for a future is a cool theme to explore. So they all take up arms and they're going straight to Navarro. And that's my favorite part of this episode, is just seeing the Mandalorians set up and go in and fight like Navy SEALs. That whole scene where they drop in and they're doing the hand signals and they're spreading out and they're moving in little squads, it was like a dream come true for me because as I was a kid, I always wanted to see like a live action special forces type of Star Wars. And this was my little glimpse at that. We never got it with clones in live action, but here we get it with Mandalorians, and it was just as cool. They were so efficient, and I love how they used all of the little equipment they have. They have those ropes that they shoot out of their wrist. They have the wrist rockets. They have the flamethrowers. It's all really cool, and I just love this scene for that. And again, these aerial fights are some of the best visuals on TV, if not in all of Star Wars. The dogfights this season have been like the biggest highlight for me. Seeing these cockpit shots of whether you're inside the cockpit or there's those shots where it looks like the camera's mounted on the front of the starfighter looking back at the cockpit as it zooms around a ship, or you see the aftermath of an explosion from their perspective. It is so interesting, and I absolutely love the visual effects here. It looks fantastic. Even the little things of just seeing the wings kind of shake against the drag of the wind, it makes it feel so much more real than if the ship was just cutting through the air like butter and there was just no drag or no semblance of physics. I really like that you see the wings kind of shake and there's a bit of a sputter when they make hard turns. It's so immersive, and I absolutely love it, and I hope they keep bringing it throughout the season. So in the end, the Mandalorians win. They liberate Navarro. The one thing that kind of sets up maybe a future is that one of the pirates gets away. The pirate that we've seen having the talking role throughout this season, he gets away, he abandons the pirates, and he leaves. And I think that is implying that there's a bigger pirate lord out there. There's a bigger syndicate that he's going to go to with this information. And we see with Carson, as he goes around telling people like, hey, I think there's something building back up again, whether it's the Empire or it's these pirates, something big is happening, and everyone kind of writes him off. And this pirate, I think, is going to be our in to see the bigger perspective of what's happening in the underworld of the galaxy. And from the books, if you read Bloodline with Leia, it's fantastic. It's about this time between the New Republic and the First Order rising up. You see that the pirates are integral to smuggling and building up the First Order fleet and getting them resources. So this pirate aspect is going to be much bigger in the future of this show, and I think that's going to be our viewpoint into how does the New Republic turn into the First Order and connect to these pirates who seemingly have no connection, but in reality, that's what is going to make the First Order happen. So I like that they left that story thread there. So then after the battle, we get this interesting scene where the armorer asks Bo to come to her old forge. And I was really curious where this scene was going, because the way they were shooting the armorer, it was almost like sinister in nature. She's like, so, you saw the mythosaur, take off your helmet. And you're just like, what is going on here? But essentially, I think the point of the scene was for the armorer to recognize that this person that never followed the way of the Mandalore, the true way of the Mandalore, has come together with this clan, and they've done a good thing, and they've created a new home for the Mandalorians on Navarro. Why can't that be done in the broader sense of the galaxy? And because Bo-Katan walks both those worlds, she was once someone that didn't follow the path and can take their helmet off and has talked to these other Mandalorians. And now she's also lived the life of the old ways of the Mandalore about not taking the helmet off. She's able to bring both those perspectives and hopefully bring together these Mandalorians, because I think the armorer in her mind knew that there was this divide between all the different clans and she only wanted to focus on her own. But I think the camaraderie that was displayed today between all of the people in the clan and Bo-Katan, I think she sees that potential for a future, and she wants to use Navarro as that starting point, and then they'll eventually go back and populate Mandalore, because Din was like, no, it's habitable. It's definitely habitable. And it seems the armorer is really hung up on this mythosaur thing now, because when she first mentioned it, the armorer was like, yeah, this is the way. I totally believe you. But now that she's kind of sat with it and seen what Bo-Katan's capable of, she's been like, okay, wait, maybe you should be leading us because you did see the mythosaur. So I thought that was an interesting flip. I wasn't expecting that, because it seemed like the armorer was very like, yeah, no, totally. I believe it's there too. I saw some people saying, why didn't Din just do this? Why didn't they say, oh, Din, you have the Darksaber and you've already taken off your helmet. Why can't you be our ambassador and bring these Mandalorians together? And it's because Din never lived that life outside of the Creed. He was a foundling. He took his helmet off in a moment of weakness, but not really a moment of weakness because he was finally embracing this child that he now sees as a son. But he never lived that other life. And I think if he went to these other Mandalorians, ex-Death Watch, ex-people that followed Darth Maul, we have Fen Rao, we have Sabine Wren's whole clan, all of these people live these different types of Mandalorian lives, and Bo-Katan's the only one that's walked both. So I totally get why she picked her. Again, Bo-Katan's intentions, I mean, she's getting everything she wants. She's like in the spot to be the new leader of Mandalore. Is that going to go to her head? Is she going to embrace this like she did the clan? Is she going to be like, okay, wait, maybe it's not all about me. It's about these groups of Mandalorians coming together and rebuilding this planet. So that's still up in the air. I want to trust Bo-Katan, but I feel like they've been planting seeds of her being very self-interested. And we end this episode with finding the shuttle that was transporting Moff Gideon to trial, which I'm a sucker for deep space abandoned ships. I think it's such a cool and scary and creepy concept, and I love when you see the ice crystals on the bodies and you're like, what happened out here? It's very like cosmic horror, Lovecraftian horror, where you don't really know what did anything, and that's what makes it scarier because you don't see it. But in this case, it's just implied that Mandalorians broke Moff Gideon out, which is interesting. Now you're like, oh, okay, why would Mandalorians get this guy out? He did have the Darksaber. Maybe they didn't get the word that he lost the Darksaber. Maybe they think he's still the true leader of Mandalore, but they also know he bombed the place, so they wouldn't really respect him. But again, Darth Maul went to Mandalore and straight up just killed people, and once he had the Darksaber and killed Pre Vizsla, it was just like, oh, okay, no, now you're our leader. Again, that caused some divide between them, Bo-Katan being one of them, but it wouldn't be too far-fetched for the Mandalorians, but I truly think it's more of the frontier justice, like Moff Gideon destroyed our homeworld, we deserve to put him on trial and make him pay for what he did, not the New Republic. The New Republic wasn't involved with this. You guys should stay out of this. This is a Mandalorian manner. So maybe that's what happened, but we'll see. It was very interesting to like plant Beskar or like whatever that was. I couldn't really tell if it was a piece of armor. I don't know if it fell off a person or not, but again, really cool intrigue. We'll see where the Moff Gideon storyline goes here. But yeah, overall, I really, really enjoyed this episode. The action was easily the best part. The more information about the New Republic, how it's operating, how it's so unorganized, how it's lost its way. The reason the New Republic was born was to stop the Empire and stop the hypocrisy, but now we see it's happening all over again. The rebellion, or the ex-rebellion people who are now in the New Republic are like, wait, we joined to help people, and now you're telling us we can't help people? That goes against what we fought for. Like, what the hell's going on here? So I like that insight into the New Republic. I didn't forget, but I know we got some Zeb Aurelius in live action, which was incredible. He looked great. I mean, I was like, that would be very hard to put into live action, but I think they did an awesome job with him. The Lasat, I was like, wow, that's great. It doesn't look too cartoonish. It looks very real. And the voice actor came back. I think his name is something Blum, but he was great. I love that raspy Zeb voice. So the Rebels characters are gearing up to be in live action. I'm sure we're going to see the Ahsoka trailer next week. So we'll see Sabine and Hera. We already saw Chopper a couple times, and we'll probably be seeing some Ezra. So this was really cool. Cameo done well. Very low-key cameo, which I appreciated. But I guess he succeeded in going to the new world and build up a new, like, Lasat clan on a new world. And is Callus here? Did Callus make it back? Is Callus still on the new homeworld? I don't know. We'll see if Callus shows up as well. But anyway, liked the pirates being involved again. I think they're going to be a bigger aspect. I'm excited to see that. I don't want them to just be like a one-off, like, ooh, bad guy of the week. I think the pirates will be a cornerstone of the New Republic kind of conflict, which will be cool. And where's Gideon? We'll see. And Bo-Katan, what are her motivations? Where are we going? Is she really for the clan or is she for herself? We'll see. But I like what they're doing with her character. And yeah, we have 3 more episodes left, which is... It's pretty crazy. They're kind of in crunch time here, but I think this episode was a great start to the second half of the season. So excited to hear your thoughts. Follow me on Instagram at @star_wars_mark of balance. Let me know. Love talking Star Wars. And as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and may the Force be with you. Peace.